All right, all right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. So, to say that the launch of VRider SBK on PSVR2 has been off to a bit of a rocky start would actually be a pretty big understatement. The game was first delayed, and then when it did eventually come out, it came out at the incorrect price. So, whatever you do not buy this game, and don't even think about buying this game until it's at least had the price fixed for it. That being said, I went ahead and bought this game because, hey, it's my job to, okay? I have to tell you about this game, okay? So today I want to share with you my first impressions over the course of about the first 2 hours of spending time with VRider SBK. So let's kick it off. So I want to kick things off actually here with a really big positive, and that is that the sense of speed in this game is really, really nice. I mean, you feel like you are traveling really, really fast, and that makes for some really high octane, fast paced gameplay. And the gameplay controls itself feel pretty good as well. You steer by moving your arms up and down as if you're controlling the handlebars on the bike. There's two different options for accelerating and braking. One is the triggers, and then the other is actually turning the handle. I've mostly used the triggers so far because I'm kind of new to this. I'm not a bike expert. There is a bit of a learning curve here. It takes a little getting used to, but eventually it starts to feel really, really good and tight. And like, again, heavy emphasis on how good the sense of speed here is. So content wise, there's actually a pretty decent offering here. There's 14 different tracks, various officially licensed superbikes to choose from BMW to Yamaha and more. And then there's also various game modes that you can try out. There's a quick race mode where you can race up to 22 AI racers. This is something that's been expanded upon from the other platform. There's a ghost lap, which is basically you racing against yourself. There's multiplayer, which supports up to 6 players. And I don't think that there's crossplay for this. That could be subject to change, but at this time, that's what it seemed like to me. There's an endurance mode, and then a tournament. And then lastly, a challenge mode where you have to hit these checkpoints in a limited amount of time and earn medals. There's some decent features that show you kind of the progress of where you're at and how much experience you've gained. You do level up in this, and you also have these little kind of like medals that you can earn for achieving for different milestones of playing the game. So it's a nice little way to track your progress and kind of see where you're at. There's also online leaderboards, so you can race against people online or your friends list, which is pretty nice. Settings wise, there's a decent amount of stuff in there that you can go in and adjust. Obviously, I always like to turn off the comfort settings, and there is like a pre-made profile that you can choose for steering, and I chose the expert mode to turn things like traction control off. I sometimes with racing games have more trouble with the assist features than just turning them off, and it felt like how I wanted it to. It felt tailor-made for my preferences, so that was pretty cool. Okay, so here's where we have to tackle some of the really big issues going on with the game that I've noticed so far. The graphics and performance are definitely below PSVR 2 standards. Graphically, there's really, really like low resolution textures. Color-wise, everything just looks kind of washed out and gray. And it's just with the headset that has an OLED panel and HDR capabilities, it would have been really, really nice to kind of take advantage of that and make this really, really bright and nice looking. And they do give you like a brightness and contrast setting that you can kind of adjust in the settings. But honestly, like, I don't know. Whenever I fiddled with it, it ended up just making everything worse. And there wasn't really anything other than just the standard 5 and 5 that seemed to look okay, which is what this footage is on now. I did try turning brightness down, all sorts of things, and it did not work. Trust my word there. But so the other problem is there are some major frame rate drops here, especially when going around corners at a very fast speed or lots of leaning and turning. There are some very, very noticeable frame rate stutters, frame rate drops here and there, and it just doesn't look very good. And especially the odd thing is with all the graphical fidelity and quality, kind of stripped down or just not really super polished looking. It's a bit odd that, I mean, it seems like it would be able to run at like 120 frames per second with the graphical quality, but the truth is, if it's running at 90, it's struggling to even hit that a lot of the time. And even in modes like the challenge mode, where you don't play against any AI, it's not online. So it's really baffling that even like a challenge mode where you're just hitting checkpoints is struggling to keep up so much. I mean, this thing is really chugging around edges, and that's causing a bit of a problem when you're competing for a high score or a gold medal. I will say it is playable, but it's definitely noticeable, and it can maybe cause some issues. I was able to play through it, but it is not good overall in terms of performance. Another thing is there's something with the aliasing or anti-aliasing. I don't even know if there is any. It seems like there's just no anti-aliasing at all. So there's some shimmering edges here and there. And especially, racing on some of the courses with several other bikers, like starting out a race, I mean, you can clearly see that you just missing a lot of detail because of some blur and shimmering that's occurring. And just overall, guys, the biggest problem that this game has had so far has been the graphics and the performance. I do think that there is a decent game here. It is, like I said, it is still, despite these things, I'm having some pretty good fun with it. I love the sense of speed. I do think it's a really good mix of a simcade racer. I think it actually strikes that balance pretty well and has a decent offering of content. The biggest problem overall, besides the price being broken right now, is definitely going to be the graphics and performance. I hope that they add some updates or plan to update this a little bit and get that frame rate a little bit smoother. Let's get some enhancements to the textures and lighting a little bit. It's so flat looking and flat colored and just looks kind of lifeless. It has its moments here and there, like especially with like the motorcycle racers themselves. Sometimes can look pretty good at times. It does appear like there's shadows under them, which is cool. But overall, and the resolution is okay. Like the resolution's not that bad. The biggest problem is just the graphics quality overall, like in terms of the art design, the textures, the shimmering that you see here and there, and then especially the frame rate chugging. I hope that they can maybe consider implementing DFR for this and clean this up, because again, I do think that there actually is a pretty good game here, a pretty solid game at the very least, with some cool things to experience. But until this gets cleaned up, it's seeming like it's gonna have to be like a wait for a patch or wait for a sale kind of game. So but that's it for now, guys. Yeah, I went ahead and checked this out so that you can finally rest easy knowing what the game is like before they get the price fixed and make your decision. But yeah, you have been warned about the graphics and performance issues. But like I said, there is a good sense of speed. There is good gameplay. There is a decent amount of content there as well. So but that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and found it useful, and I'll see you on the next one.